All right, the next thing I'm going to do here is flip this thing over, and when I do so, a lot of nasty oil and stuff is going to continue to come out. Even though I drained this beforehand, it's not unusual for a whole lot more to still be stuck inside the channels. So I've got a catch pan under here, and hopefully I will catch some. Well, that's not bad at all, but that really isn't bad at all. Good. Alright, so I'm catching that. You can't see that on the camera really well, but it's there. So the next thing to come off is this oil pan, and man, this oil pan is nasty. So I probably will not be reusing this. I'm going to see about getting a junkyard pan for it. But we'll go ahead and get that off there. Now, these oil pans are probably going to be stuck on there a little bit more. Let's see if I can get that. There we go. There's a little bit more in the frame there. Oh wow, that didn't. Usually, I should say. Usually these things are going to be in there a little bit more. Take a look at that. Oh, that's that smell I was talking about. This car was neglected towards the end of its life. Luckily, it doesn't appear that it's done any damage, but check it out. It's dirty. It's got sludge. So again, this gets to go to town and get cleaned out, and I'll decide once I get it to town and I get it cleaned up if this is worth saving or not. It has some rust on it. It doesn't look like it's as bad as I initially thought it was, so we'll clean it up, we'll sand it some, we'll see if it's worth saving, but oh man. Good thing I didn't just put that and install it, you know, that's just ugly looking. And we've got the oil pan gasket here. I don't think that's coming off. Look at that. Wow. That actually came off fairly easy. It almost makes you wonder if that's been replaced at some point. This right here is our oil pump, and yeah, we're going to remove that too. If I recall, it is these two bolts right. Yep. These are 13s, and I don't know if I'm going to replace these. It's something where they don't go bad all that often. You can see in the screen there, it's fairly clean. Again, this thing is not that sludged up, so I'll hang on to it. I'm going to clean it, and I'll find out what it costs to replace the pump. If it's an inexpensive part, I probably will replace it. If it's expensive, I'll probably just try to reuse that. I mean, it's something you can replace in the car if that becomes an issue. You don't have to pull the engine back out to do it. But, yeah, I'll figure that out later. All right, check it out. We're down to our mains. These big bolts here are our mains, and these smaller ones here that are at various levels, those are our connecting rods. So I think I'm going to start by marking some of this stuff, because these caps, and I'll wipe this down so you can see it, they go back the way they came out. If you do it any other way, you got problems. And I'm going to use something to scribe these, okay? I'm going to point the arrow pointing towards a spot. In this case, it's going to be towards the oil pump. I'm going to make arrows pointing up so that I know that my caps all go in facing that way. Looks like the mains are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's a good thing, one being at the front. The other ones have a mark on them, but it looks like they are just the size. They're 77. They're all listed as 77. So I'm going to mark those 1, 2, 3, 4 with an arrow pointing up. I hope y'all can see that. You probably can't. But there's 1 with an arrow pointing that way. I'll make this 4. Okay, so now those are marked. Like I said, these are all marked. I'm just going to put an arrow. That cast is a little harder. Got to mark that one. And that'll tell me that all of them face that way. All right, now I'm going to rotate that back around just for, yeah, I'll leave it like this. Okay. I'm going to flip it back over for a second. I'm going to mark the pistons 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, I'm going to mark an arrow. I'm not planning on taking the pistons off of the connecting rods, but just in case, because once we get into this thing, we want this thing to go back the way it was. That's it. We're ready to start pulling this thing apart. It doesn't take a whole lot of time to take apart an old 4-cylinder iron block, but it sure does take a lot of time to take apart something modern that has upper and lower oil pans. Instead of having mains, it has rocker boxes and all the good stuff, man. I'll tell you what, I prefer to work on this vintage stuff, although I can work on just about anything. But certainly, if I'm going to have some joy in my life, I'm going to be looking at joy. When I take this stuff apart, I want to inspect the caps and the bearings that are in them, because I want them to look good. If I see major damage, you know, that means that it's probably time to stop. There we go. Alright, take a look. That is pretty worn, but is in no way, shape, or form destroyed. Right, so a spun bearing, something like that. But this is okay. I like that, and hopefully you can see that. So now we'll go ahead and take my thumbs here, push down the piston, and we'll grab it from the other side as it comes out. And I'll put this cap back on it just so we keep them the same. In case any of my markings disappear, hopefully the marking on the other side is still there. There we go. And there's our other bearing. Take a look at that as well. Again, that doesn't look bad at all. It's not great, it's not perfect, but it's not destroyed. In other words, it's a good idea that I decided to re-ring this. And here's our piston. Here's number 4 right here, right? We're looking at our rings. Luckily they're not trash, but we're still going to put new ones in. There's our oil ring. It looks a little bit more ugly, but not bad. Overall, just not bad. Alright, so now I'm going to put the cap back on there. Put my bolts back in there, my nuts back in there, and we'll move on to the next one. Just a little bit of wear on the edge of that. That's the first one I've seen that had any piston slap. Still looks like it's going to be a-okay. Right on. Alright, so before we can take the mains off, we have to take the front and rear cover off. And I'm going to do that right now. There's not a lot holding it in place. It's also a gasket you definitely want to replace. The seal obviously is also in there. You want to replace that while you're taking this apart. Sucks to do a job like this, get it all the way back together again and realize there's been an incident. So we don't want that to happen. And the ways to avoid things like that are to replace every gasket and seal while we're there. We just go in there and make sure you do it right the first time. And while I'm here, I might as well go ahead and remove the counter shaft here. That's the shaft that drives the oil pump in the distributor. I want to get that off too. Alright, so that front cover, clean that up. There's a gasket here we'll have to pry off of there and replace. Usually, a little bit of wiggling, out comes our counter shaft, and there it is right there. Looking good. I'm going to inspect those gears. I'm going to look at that bearing. Both those look great. And there's our, this is if you were going to use it in a market that still had a mechanical fuel pump. That's the lobe for the fuel pump. Old school, but still working. And I've got to remove the cover on this back here as well, which you can't see. It's kind of tight up against the stand itself. But I'll go ahead and take that loose. Okay, that's loose. Time to take the mains off. Time to make the donuts. And there we go. Number 1 main is out and looks beautiful. I mean, man, that's just what I wanted to see. Worn but not worn out. There we go. Number 2 looks the same. Just a smidge of wear, but nothing to indicate any real damage was done. There we go. There's the last one with the thrust washers in it. Let me set that down. I'll show you what's going on there. Okay. First, here's our crankshaft, and looking pretty, all right? I'm very happy with that. I'm going to take it in, dip it. That'll clean up all the passages. Going to look beautiful, hopefully. The thrust washers that live right here, that's what made this a little harder to get out, those thrust washers. And one of them, yeah, here's the two for the one side, the bottom there, and the two for the top are kind of already fell out. But I'm going to leave those there just for now. And that's it. That is it. That is all. So that's it. That's the end of part 2 of rebuilding a Volkswagen engine. This is a water-cooled 1.8. Probably the most common engine you're going to find in vintage Volkswagens. This disassembly and reassembly is identical for the 1.5, 1.6, 1.7, and 1.8 engines. I think is nearly identical for the 2-liter engines, but I haven't done one of those in so many years I can't say for certain. This was the engine that was in the GTI, the original pocket rocket, you know? And this was a good engine. So I'm going to take this thing and now I'm going to send it off to my day job, and I'm going to have this thing vatted. That means I'm going to put it in a machine, clean it until it's almost as shiny and sparkly as new, and then I'm going to probably paint it. And I'm waiting on all the parts to come, and I'm going to start reassembling it. And sometime over the winter, I'm going to install it. So I hope you'll stick around for all those parts. And until next time, take care.